Welcome to the Leg It Sportcast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neild.
We've got some big news. The Leg It Sportcast and the Leg It Podcast in general has teamed up with Monterex. They are going to be our new sponsors for the show. They are an athletic sports brand and is probably the perfect suit for the podcast. They're bang into the sports, which is ideal for the sportscast. Boss, couple of lads who set the brand up, and it's Boss gear.
Yeah, it's brilliant and obviously a perfect match. As you say, really good lads, a brand that's massively on the up. You know, involved with some big sports sort of stars on our side, and yeah, brilliant matchup.
Yeah, it's a big scoop for us. Like I say, I wanted the Leg It podcast to kind of really, jump into bed with a brand that we were on kind of aligned to, if you want to say. And Monterex are exactly that. So we'll put a link in the description. Go and check them out. It's Boss Gear. Give them a follow, and they've got some big things lined up ahead. So massive thanks to our new sponsors, Monterex. What's been going on?
We're starting to pick back up again, aren't we? But I think, had another winner last week. Got back on track.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So,
just saying then, my horse, Bolshoi Ballet, just ran past us at the lights before. Absolutely nowhere to be seen, got lost.
Didn't like the ground.
Didn't like the ground.
Didn't like running.
It didn't like running that day for me anyway.
Yeah, so obviously I got back on track with the UFC, Rosenstrike. Watch it Sunday mornings, as I said last week. And I was thinking I went under 1.5 for, 4 minutes 58 of the first round, not much happened. And then bang, lights out. Just one sort of cuff and glance and shot, and Saki was down and out. But, Rosenstrike, just a dangerous man, got serious power. Problem for him is, the man who beat him's the champion, so he's pretty much better than everyone else apart from the champ. But
yeah, that's frustrating, that, isn't it? Knowing that.
It's one of them positions. It's not a bad position to be in, to be like sort of, the best of the rest sort of thing. But
it's how many times you have to beat the rest before you get another shot at the champ, I guess.
Yeah. And to be honest, it's all ground, isn't it? So like, you can't just, for example, for the UFC to flog Ngannou versus Rosenstrike again, everyone's going to be, we've seen it, chinned him, you know what I mean? But yeah, he's a dangerous man, like, because if you don't chin him, he's going to chin you. So yeah. Well,
once again, you didn't only get your bet in, you got it to the T.
Yeah.
Fair play to you, mate. You I was saying, as the success rate of your betting tips, especially in combat sports, picking up, I'm convinced I don't think anyone knows as much about it than you, mate, so fair play to you.
Yeah, I put, like, as I said a couple of times, that put in the hours and stuff like that, and I love doing it, but
nailed it.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep going.
Yeah, so mine was awful, yours smashed it. We're still massively in profits with our bets, so hopefully you keeping to follow them. Past week as well, we had Jordan Henderson's 10-year at the club.
Emotional video.
Yeah, Phil Reed, shout out to Phil. He produced a brilliant 5-minute teaser trailer. I think the full documentary's out now, but just a 5-minute clip of seeing his dad and what it meant to his dad more than anyone as well.
It's tough. Getting to the top of footy's no easy feat, and Henderson's journey has been anything but smooth. Obviously he's achieved a lot now, pretty much achieved it all. But
mate, the only thing he's not won is the FA Cup, which we were beaten in the final by Man City. Yeah. And the Europa League, which we were beaten by Sevilla. Yeah. If he'd won them two games, he would have won everything you can win.
He's had some career, like, and what's he, 31? 30?
30. His birthday is the same day as mine, actually.
Is it? Yeah, so he's not.
17th of June, so next week's my birthday. He must be 31, coming up to 31.
Yeah, he's he's incredible ambassador for Liverpool. I think he's one of them players, like, obviously he split opinion on Liverpool fans, split opinion with me. I was sort of, never battered him, but I weren't a fan. I didn't think he was good enough. Well and truly converted now, and happily, I don't just jump on the bandwagon and say I always loved him, because I didn't. But I think he's now becoming one of them players, isn't he, where like every fan sort of appreciates what he does, what he is, and the way he handles himself.
I think, mate, in defence to Liverpool fans, and I wasn't personally a Hendo basher, I didn't think he was going to set the world alight, but you had Mascherano, Alonso, Gerrard. Yeah. It was difficult for him to come in and live up to the midfielders that we had in the club, a few years previous.
I think what speaks volumes, though, the way Gerrard speaks about him. I think, and he's seen it from, Gerrard can judge a footy player, obviously, and I think he's seen it from day one. I think he's always said that, hasn't he? That, he knew from pretty much that he had what it takes to be a Liverpool player, and, he's been well and truly proven right. Yeah. And I think he's pretty much the most, maybe Van Dijk as a player, but I mean as a person, as the complete package, he's probably the most important player in that team.
Yeah, I agree. I think Liverpool have done I'm not saying they've done this on purpose, but I think they've done a good job of some things they put out on Twitter, the little clips where you can just hear Hendo screaming.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot easier to do it no fans in the ground, but you realise as a fan just the impact he has on the team.
Yeah, 100%. As I say, that a lot of that comes from his bad experiences though, like just in life and in sport. Like, you're made by your bad times, aren't you? And, you know, he's had the worst. I say he's almost going to Fulham, a swap deal for Clint Dempsey.
Clint Dempsey shouldn't even be polishing his boots.
Exactly that, and you know, his career could have been totally different, but you know, he decided at a young age. You know, what was he at that time? He must have still been young, but you know, he decided, nah, I'm sticking around and I'm going to fight for it. And you know, but yeah, all props to him. You know, just as a football fan. Well, you know, what a guy.
Yes, that was him 10 years at the club. We had a bit of controversy in the French Open.
Yeah.
We didn't really touch the bet on that because, again, I do like tennis, but more Wimbledon but I don't really get involved in it. It's on clay, isn't it, the French Open?
But to be honest, I've not even looked at the actual action, just been following this Naomi Osaka thing, which is so hard to get your head around, really. You know, she's 20, I think she's 23, number 2 in the world, like, you know, right on the edge of, well, you're not even in a prime, but at the top of the sport, you know what I mean? And, you know, for her to feel like she's so pressured into media duties and, like, sort of journalists and stuff like that she has to pull out of the French Open. You know,
even Piers Morgan was weighing in on it, wasn't he?
Yeah, but it's one of them. It's like, how bad has it got to that, you know, one of the major tournaments? She's like, I can't do it because of that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's a little bit, not so much linked, but it's a little bit like you were saying about the UFC fighter whose his anxiety gets to him.
Tom Breach, yeah.
Now, obviously, the anxiety and the feeling of maybe being bullied by the media are two different things, but it's that thing of how much are athletes expected to manage before it then becomes, no, this isn't fair, or this isn't right.
I think, but the problem is, like, you know, to go back to Tom Breese, again, didn't make the cage walk this weekend. You know, his anxiety, I don't know this for the fact, but, you know, they're the rumours that his anxiety got the better of him once again. But, like, for her, she like, if she's got all this talent, but she can't face the media, why do the media and the journalists and stuff still have the power to be like, no, we want to see her? Do you know what I mean? Why can't she say no? Do you know what I mean? Like,
to be devil's advocate, surely it's the media who are. I mean, I don't know how it works, but I'm just thinking back to football. At the end of a game, when Sky throw a microphone in Jurgen's face, Jurgen might not want to speak to them, but he knows that Sky are paying a lot of money.
Yeah. I think that is a massive thing, but you know,
I think that's the point that I'm not trying to jump on the side of Piers Morgan, but I think that's the point he was trying to make, in the sense that, you know, you can't just take all the great press that you're gonna get and then just say, oh, now that it's bad, I don't want to.
I totally agree with that. I mean, you know, got to take the good with the bad, but surely that there's, you know, a lot of press conferences for one are pointless in every sport. Nothing gets said. You know, a lot of interviews. How many interviews at the end of football do you ever remember? Because they just get the same thing. You know, nobody wants to be there. No. You know, obviously it's a monetary thing, but surely this is a point now where you go, right, let's restructure it, you know what I mean? Let's train the media and the athletes to, like, be in harmony. Let's get people who are going to ask for provoking questions. Let's have someone who's not going to go, how was your game? Do you know what I mean? Because how mind-numbing must that be? You know, you've got to perform at the top of your game, especially in tennis, day after day. And then, you know, you got someone just giving you, like, a boring question. Must be hard not to bite, you know what I mean? Go, I've just lost.
So what's she saying then? She felt she was getting bullied or victimised, or? You
know, I don't know sort of the exact sort of motive to what she said, but I just believe she felt it was too much. So, you know, she didn't have, you know, the mental sort of, she went in the right mind frame to be able to do both, and so she was saying, like, I don't want to do it, just want to play, but and then they couldn't, so then she felt the pressure that she couldn't play at all because it had such an effect on her mental health. But
it is hard if you were just maybe super talented and you just love tennis and that's all you wanted to do, and now someone's going, okay,
you don't sign up for a press conference.
Now you've got to speak to the press, and she's like, well,
I think you're right to play devil's advocate, because these people and these broadcasters and stuff like that, they're paying a lot of money, they're keeping the sport going essentially, but you know, there's got to be some common ground. There's got to be, like, I believe now is perfect time to restructure it in all sports, because, you know, the media and the athlete need the media and the media needs the athlete. Obviously, if there's no athletes, no one's in a job, but if no one's writing about your sport, no one cares. So everyone needs each other, but you've got to find a way in which you can work in harmony so that it you know, it's thought-provoking, or, you know, it's at least constructive. Do you know what I mean? You should get something from it. I don't think any athlete at the moment is going into a press conference and coming out of it going, you know, I took something from that. They're just getting a repetitive question, you know?
Yeah. And the sad thing is, it's proven by us even talking about it now. I would not have been talking about this girl,
No.
even though she's number 2 in the world, if it hadn't happened. So it's like the fact that it is bad press essentially around her. It's got us talking. So it's like the press has got a massively important role to play.
You can't, you know.
I think it's that balance, like you say, isn't it? And finding a way to work together, because obviously it's not nice if she's struggling with her mental health and feels like she has to pull out the tournament.
Where does it get to? Do you know what I mean? You could end up losing a girl here who's number 2 in the world, well, a woman who's number 2 in the world and is 23. You could be on the edge of losing like a generational talent because she can't deal with the pressures. And you know, who are we to say that she's right or wrong? Like, I know people say, well, she has all the good ones, but she can't take the bad ones. But we're not here. Do you know what I mean? We don't understand what's going on between her ears. We don't understand what's going on between anyone's ears.
It's a sad one, isn't it?
I just hope she can get obviously back in the right frame of mind, and you know, more importantly, that sport in general can learn from it. Because you know, we desperately need. You know, I don't bit out to turn this, but we desperately need better journalists. We need more respectful media. We need people who, you know, as I said to you before we were recording, there's a handful of journalists who I would even bother reading because, you know, they're just writing stuff to make you click the link and get ad revenue. But you know, we need people who are going to, you know, make thought-provoking articles.
And I think you see with football, the likes of, you know, if a reporter, a journalist can have a good rapport with the athlete, makes for far better interviews. You look at like Jamie Carragher and Conor Cody, you know, obviously they've been teammates in the past. They have great relationship, you know, great interview. They have a laugh, and you get that more kind of, you know, insightful kind of questions, better insight into the life. And I just feel, if, like you say, mate, if they can have a better relationship, then surely.
Yeah, there's a lot of mistrust at the moment in it, because you're going to say,
and
like,
rightly so,
like,
you know.
You know, you could say something and then the next day it's in like, you know, so and so said this person's terrible or whatever, or they hate this. You know, at the end of the day, if you're running that risk every day and you're doing press every single day, why are you? You're going to be a robot, aren't you? Because they don't need the negativity around it. But yeah, I think there's a time for like sort of, you know, revolution might be a strong word, but you know, everything needs to be rethink, you know, rethink and sort of move on from this in the hope that, you know, media become better and players become more receptive, because as fans, that's what you need. You want to, you know, we all buy into narrative. We all want to buy into athletes. You know, my favourite athletes are in boxing, UFC, football, people that I can sort of think, you know, I like him or I like her. So I'm going to follow the journey. So, but if this keeps going on, we're never going to understand who the person is. We're just going to see, might as well just be watching 22 robots.
They're just not going to open up, are they? Yeah. We've also transfer kind of merry-go-rounds is full on. Big one I seen today was Sancho.
Yeah, to United.
Looks like he's agreed personal terms. It's been a bit of a long running transfer one, hasn't it?
It's tough, innit? Because like obviously he's focusing on a tournament. I mean, that's such an interesting thing. Like how players, I'm sure we're going to talk about the Euros, you know, gets underway, and you know, is it tomorrow? Yeah,
tomorrow. Yeah,
as this goes out. But you know, sort of how you like balance. You know, I'm going to move clubs, and I've got this big tournament. It must be hard, that, no matter what money you're in.
I think it's funny. For example, let's say Jadon Sancho is in the England canteen, and it's in the press that Liverpool are after him and United are after him. And he walks in and he's got like Rashford sitting on one table and Hendo on the other, and he's walking in with like his tray. And George like going, Henderson's going, Jane. And Mark just going, "Mate, I've got you a drink." And he's like,
"You can have my butty if you want."
But do you know what I mean? I mean, I wonder if that kind of stuff goes on.
I have no doubt that it does, you know what I mean? But yeah, it must be hard to balance, because like, you know, with anything new, you sort of like, I want to get in and get going, but you've got a massive tournament right in front of you. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, how you
he'll have his agents on the phone, no doubt. He may have United players saying, you know, Solskjaer saying to Rashford, you know, try and rumour him if you can, or try and, you know,
country as well with his, like, I'm not sure if he has a family, but you know, he's got to come over and get a new house and stuff like that. And I know he's got loads of money and getting a house is whatever house he's going to get's nice, but he's still moving. Do you know what I mean? He's still got affairs that, you know, he needs to get in order and stuff like that. I'm sure he's got people around him.
He'll have friends and family over there who's going to miss. You know, it's I don't care how much money you've got. It's moving country and starting a new life again is hard.
Yeah, but as you say, the transfer rumour mill starting to really sort of heat up now.
I think if United get him, they will be strong next season. I think they were lucky to fit. Not lucky, but listen, you finish where you finish. But I think Liverpool weren't that far off them, considering that awful season we had.
Yeah.
And United, I think, you know, we're quite happy with their season. I think though, if they get him, I think they could be a real force.
Especially like obviously going forward, because he's a winger. But you know, Greenwood,
Rashford, and
I
Sancho.
really rate that Greenwood a lot.
It's a little bit like our front three. I think that could turn into.
I I mean, if they can get them free, fit and firing, do you know what I mean? And Cavani maybe off the bench, it's very, very strong now.
Yeah.
And, we're talking, tipping up Portugal last week, Fernandes behind them, match winner.
Yeah.
Pogba on his day is a good player, he doesn't have many days, but as you say, McTominay again, strong.
I think he next couple of years he'll really kick on.
I think they're going to always give goals away with the defence that they've got, but that's a strong team.
Yeah.
Whether we like Man United or not, as a neutral, you've got to appreciate that it's a fairly strong team.
And like I say, that front three could be
really
pretty dangerous these next couple of years if they end up landing them.
But, let's see who performs at the Euros, obviously, to see, he moves on. Again, I'm sure it always happens, doesn't it? Someone has a great Euros and then they end up...
Mate, do you remember, just saying that reminds me of El Hadji.
Yeah, it was a World Cup, wasn't it?
2002 World Cup, wasn't it?
Did he score against France or something like that?
Yeah.
Or Senegal. Yeah, because they had, who's the other? Salif Diao,
yeah.
We had all them players.
He was the next, I was going to say next to Dan, he had...
that was Latalik, wasn't it? Anthony
Latalik and... who's the other one? Pongole.
Yes, Pongole.
Bruno Cheroux as well.
Oh, crazy.
All these things, the next so-and-so, the next this.
You need a big tournament and then you're flying, aren't you?
See, Celtic have awarded the new, got the new manager, haven't they?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know who he is.
Neither do I. I'm trying to...
I seen his name today, but I had no idea who he is.
No.
That manager merry-go-round's crazy, by the way. That Rafa Benitez to Everton thing's seriously heating up, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, over the last day or so.
His name is Ange Postecoglou.
I'm good go with that. Where was he before this?
He's from... I don't even know.
He was in France or something, wasn't he? Yeah,
he's...
bit of a left field appointment, that.
He's from Australia. And he was at Yokohama Marinos.
Big side.
So he was in Japan.
Yeah.
An Australian who's been working in Japan is now going to be going head to head with Stevie in the Old Firm derby.
Yeah, a bit of a crazy one, that, because I'm sure, I think Eddie Howe was right on the edge of that, wasn't he? And I think he probably would have done okay up there. But yeah, it's one of them, like...
Nuno, the Wolves manager as well, he was on the brink of Crystal Palace, then that's broken down.
Feels like everyone's got a better job offer than me. Do you know what I mean? Thinking, I'll just bide my time a little bit, but...
I was speaking to a few Blues and they're quite excited about the prospect of the Lille manager.
Yeah, my friends are as well. A friend of mine, Paul, and Adam, they were both saying the same thing. And do you know what, if I was Everton, that's what I'd do. Because what have you got to lose now? You appoint that Lille manager and you get a bit of excitement, like, what's this? Well, he could be... Yes, he could flop, but on the flip side of that, as an optimist, he could be the best thing that ever happened to Everton. Do you know what I mean? Could go in there with, like, his own ideas, say, I'm ripping everything up, this is how we do it. Fans love him. You know what I mean? You just don't know, but that's what I'd do. I'd try and get someone left field, for the fans going, yeah, what's this?
I think as well, although we knocked the French league, so it's a bit of a farmers league, they've beat PSG to the title.
With about 1/500th of the budget. That's an achievement no matter what your league you're in.
Exactly. So
I think he's done it with two teams as well, I might be wrong here, but I think he had Saint Etienne before that. And he turned their fortunes around a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, everything's saying, like, well, just get him in and let's see what happens, do you know what I mean? But I've seen, like, clips of him where he's, like, he's dancing on tables and, like...
Oh, is he one of them?
Yeah, he's celebrating. He's got a bit of personality. That's what Everton need, don't they? They need someone to sort of...
Yeah, he's at Saint Etienne.
I think he turned their fortunes around a little bit. Then he went to Lille, so sort of it's like a progressive next step, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think he'd be a great thing for them.
To be honest, I'm really like Everton are obviously Liverpool's rivals, but I'm really interested to see how it goes. Like, I'm not one of these, like, I want Liverpool to beat Everton every single time, but I never want Everton to be, like, relegated or nothing like that. I always want them around. I'm sort of envious of the days of, like, older generations where Liverpool and Everton go head to head. Do you know what I mean? I'd love that.
Same.
I'd rather go head to head with Everton than any Manchester club. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it's ever get like that again now, though. I think the bitterness is so... There's been Everton have went too long now without a trophy for it to go back to being fun, jovial times.
Like older people in my family used to travel to finals together, Blues and Reds and stuff like that. That's unreal.
And I think if Everton were winning trophies, Liverpool winning trophies, and that happened for a few years, it's fine. But if they got to Wembley now, Everton would need to win. Yeah,
I'd love a derby though, for like a derby to mean something more than who gets the brag at work. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember when we were in the semis and stuff like that, although we won, so it was bad for Everton, but like the atmosphere, you can't beat them sort of things, do you know what I mean, where you're like, you know, you're torn with your mates for 24 hours and like it's just great, isn't it? But
Yeah, it's brilliant.
and I am envious of them older generations who got to see two brilliant sides at the same time.
Mate, on that, just the last one on the Everton one, that Galtieri's won Manager of the Year 3 times.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
He's obviously a decent manager, isn't he?
I hope they get him. You know, to be honest, you know, I love what Rafa did for Liverpool, but I wouldn't be touching him now. He's just, you know, his time's been on it. Rafa Benitez, good manager, but what's he going to change?
Did you see he put on his Instagram, didn't he? Back home in Liverpool. Do you reckon that was to do with it?
Yeah, he might as well just tag Everton, mightn't he? Any jobs?
Why has he done that?
Steaming for a job.
Do you reckon that's why he done
Defo. That probably ain't even in Liverpool. Just in the Algarve.
He's probably just looked back. I need to throw a throwback Thursday up here.
Yeah. Right, didn't take a selfie at the Radio City Tower or something. Radio City.
You know, I'm so happy you said that, because I thought I was just sitting on my own and I was like, nah, he's not done that. Just
obvious ploy, innit? Oh, yeah,
I don't
know. You know, they need to stay away from that, in my opinion.
There was something else on the footy front. Just before we talk about the Euros, mate, do you even want to mention the Floyd debacle?
No, never. Just leave it.
Okay.
Fuck you, Sky Sports. It was embarrassing. It was so bad.
Yeah, we'll leave it. One thing I did see a lot of people talking about is, again, it's a bit of a heavy subject to go on to, but the whole kneeling again is, it's rumbling on, isn't it, where the teams are doing it. I seen one team last week, they didn't kneel, but they pointed to the respect
thing, yeah. To be honest, like, whether you want to kneel or not, you know, that's your opinion and that's what you want to do. I understand people who say, you know, it might have run its course and it's no longer having any effect. I'm sort of the opinion of keep doing it, because my sole reason is because if kids see players kneeling and they say to the dad or the mum, why are they kneeling?
Yeah,
and then you have to explain, you know,
it opens up a conversation.
They're kneeling because of this and this and this, and I'm fine. But the thing I just cannot understand for the life of me is people booing it. Like, what are you doing? Like, whether you agree with it or not, if you don't want to kneel, don't kneel. You don't want to just stand there. It's
a little bit like, on a far greater scale, it's like commenting on YouTube videos you don't like.
Yeah, just
if you don't, just fine, just let it go.
Like, the players aren't standing there saying, like, you know, you need to support Black Lives Matter. If you support Black Lives Matter or you don't, that is your choice, and you'll always have freedom of choice, and it's no problem. But if players want to make that stance for 40 seconds before a match, just let it happen. Because you know, I see these people go saying, "Oh, you shouldn't bring politics into football." Why not?
Politics is always going to be in football.
You know, all the great managers of the past, you know, I've seen Alex Ferguson, Bill Shankly said stuff about socialism and stuff like that. Why keep them separate? You know, like, all it screams to me is, you know, I'm undercover sort of racist, and I don't want to see it in my domain. But if you don't agree with it, that's fine. But you know, you don't.
Like I say, mate, just in general, far like lighter point than racism. But it's like this thing of, if you don't agree with something, you don't need to.
No, not everything revolves around you.
Yeah. Again, just on a minute scale, we laugh about it and joke about it, about like people commenting stuff, or if they don't like, it's like the world is negative enough without people adding to it by booing.
And you're meant to be there. You know, you're a supporter of that team. You know, you're a supporter of England. Your players are about to play. You're booing them. Like, what are you expecting to get from that? Do you think they're going to stand up and go, "Sorry, mate, you know, I'm going to stand up now. Yeah, me and you are best mates." But the only thing you're going to do is make a detrimental impact on the performance. It's mind-numbingly stupid.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's booing, whether you agree with the kneeling or not. The booing, it makes no sense to me.
The best thing about life is that we all have the choice to agree or disagree, and everyone can stand by their choices, and you are perfectly allowed that. Whether I agree with yours or you agree with mine, doesn't matter. And
the other thing is, mate, you don't need to kind of fall out about it.
No,
it can be like, you can argue or debate, whatever you want to call it, and it's like, right, okay.
If we all agree, it'd be a boring world, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But again, I think that's been lost somewhere, which is probably for another podcast. But the idea of, you know, having a different opinion to somebody is being lost now. You can't because everyone
it's not that you've then got to fall out as well and can't speak.
But like, what happened to sitting there going, you know, this is what I think, and then you saying, well, I think this, and you go, oh yeah, good point that you made there. Do you know what I mean? But that the art of that's gone, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just hope it doesn't mar the tournament because, I'm not a big international football fan.
Well, that's the other thing, isn't it?
I don't, every day, somebody...
Well, there's 2 or 3 football matches on a day now, and are we going to have this headline,
constantly.
Czech Republic didn't fucking kneel, Austria didn't, Mate, did you see that in the friendlies, there's that manager, and it's been 2 friendlies going where the opposition have ran into him?
No, he's getting battered about it. No, I haven't seen it.
He's like an older fella, like in his 60s, he looks, and it's one of them, he's standing pretty much on the touchline, and the player runs past and bangs into him, and then the bench gets up and runs and stuff, causes big... So anyway, I just thought it was an accident. I've seen it happen before. But then the commentator goes, 2nd time in 2 matches now he's been knocked over. I was like, fucking hell.
Coming like a running thing.
I reckon he wants to kind of get involved in it, mate, massively. I think it was, I don't know what manager it was, but it was quite funny.
Who are you fancying for the tournament?
Mate, after you the other day, tipping up Portugal, I'm sticking, I want to jump on your bandwagon, I think. Probably good to talk on a little bit. I know they're not our tips, but probably our little pre-tournament kind of picks. I think Portugal, mate, to win it would be my Portugal at 9-1 as well. I think. Yeah,
they've got a tough group. I think they got Hungary, Germany, France.
Mate, but if they come through that group, I mean, you're going to play the big teams anyway if you want to win it.
100%.
Listen, I'm firmly on the Portugal bandwagon.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think they obviously won 4-0, I think, last night. I think they only played Israel, but, they had a couple of moments of brilliance from Fernandes and Ronaldo and stuff. And, my point being is they've just got so many match winners. Portugal could well play terrible for every game, but they got someone who can put a free kick in, or, Ronaldo could pop up out of nowhere.
Mate, it's just Ronaldo, innit? There's nothing else to be said. You've got Ronaldo in your team.
The one, as I say, we went over Portugal last week, but I think they're a great bet. I think if they get through that group, they'll shorten rapidly. Yeah. So, I'm going to keep chipping away. If they get a good result against sort of not just Hungary, but, France and stuff like that, I'm just going to keep chipping away at it, because I can see them being, when we get to the knockouts, being very quickly turning into favourites. But, I'm looking forward to England-Scotland. I think that'll be
cool, won't it?
The Flower of Scotland, the national anthem. Have you seen the videos of that, from old games?
No.
Oh, I'll try and put it up, but from old rugby matches or old footy matches.
Yeah.
Some anthem that,
Who are you going for? Top goal scorers are normally a good shout.
Yeah, I think. Do you know who I fancy? Lukaku.
Mate, I was going to say Lukaku as well. Kane and Lukaku, I think, are the 2 big ones. I just think Kane is injury prone.
Yeah, he can pick up an injury, can he? At any time.
I think playing games so quick in succession is not going to be good for him.
I think Lukaku's had such a good year. He's just sort of one of them, isn't he? Even, as I said, just go back to that point, even if he plays crap, Lukaku will score anyway.
Yeah. I think Benzema's a good shout.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously you got Mbappe for France, but yeah, again, I'd be tempted to go with Lukaku. Maybe one little bet I think is a decent one to do is trying to pick the winners of each group. Yeah. So Group A, you've got Italy, Switzerland, Turkey and Wales.
I reckon Turkey is a bit of a dark horse,
They were dark horse for the tournament.
I don't expect them to win it, but I think they're like 6-1 or something to beat Italy on the opening day, the opening game. They're a dark horse, Turkey.
Italy are one of those teams where you just assume it's Italy, they're going to be boss, but they've not really produced anything massively, have they?
They just tick, they got that great thing. They just tick along, don't they? They just win games, and if suddenly it's a semi-final and Italy are there, it's such a great trait to have, innit?
I'd go, mate, if I was going to pick the winners of Group A, I'd go for Italy. Turkey to finish second. I can't see Wales and Switzerland doing anything. Yeah. As much as it'd be great to see Wales and stuff, but not for me. Group B, you've got Belgium, Denmark, Finland, Russia. That just screams Belgium to me. Yeah. Group C, you've got
North Macedonia going, the lads. I'm in a sweepstake.
Don't say you got North Macedonia.
No. I got Portugal, so I don't. It looks rigged. But so I didn't organise it. But there was a guy in it, and he had 2 picks. He got North Macedonia and Slovakia, I think.
Yeah, Group C is Austria, Netherlands, North Macedonia, Ukraine. It's got to be Netherlands. Group D, Croatia, Czech Republic, England, and Scotland.
I'm going Croatia.
I'm going to go England, actually. Even though Croatia beat England last big tournament.
Seen the stuff with Spain? All the players have got COVID, haven't they?
Have they?
They had to play the youth team or something like that for the last friendly, or a load of young players. Yeah, they've got.
That's what I mean. That could throw some span in the way. Yeah. I think the way this season was a bit mad. this tournament could be a bit mad with throwing up, you know, something a bit.
Yeah.
Group A, you've got Poland, Slovakia, Spain, and Switzerland. Despite that little.
Poland are always a competitive side, aren't they? Like they're like little, you know.
Lewandowski.
Yeah, they've always got, but they always got like they pop up with players who are brilliant and like no one's ever heard of.
I'm gonna be bored and I will go with the favourite Spain.
Yeah.
Group F, I think, is where you bet either gonna go down. France, Germany, Hungary, Portugal.
Hungary are not bad.
Yeah.
They take some points.
Nah, they ain't getting a point in that group. I'm gonna go for.
There's always a flop in the eye. I reckon France could be that, you know.
No, I think
there's always a big squad who flops.
I think. I mean, that is the group of death, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think. Just to hedge me bets a bit, I think even the group winner there could be France.
Yeah.
Portugal can obviously go second and go through, but actually that would mean if Portugal come second, we play England, wouldn't they? If we won. Yeah. I'm gonna go France to win that group. So yeah, a little bet on each group winners could be a little bet for you to do.
To be honest, I've never, you know, I'm not really a big international football fan, but I am sort of looking forward to seeing how the tournament develops. Like, you know, it's always good. And then say I'm not like, you know, I'm not a big England fan at all. Like, I don't really care if England lose or win, but you know, just to watch. I don't really watch footy as a neutral much, so to be in like a tournament thing and not really have an allegiance, do you know what I mean? But
the fact that there's 2 or 3 matches on a day for the next couple of weeks is great, isn't it, for a footy fan?
Best cop out ever, isn't it? You don't do nothing for weeks.
And so my top goal scorer, both kind of tipped up Lukaku, both Portugal, and I think a little fun bet would be picking the winners of each group. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, because that finishes like mid-July, doesn't it? And then everyone starts going back to pre-season before we know it. Back.
Probably have 10 days, 2 weeks off, and then straight back into it.
Yeah. Sort of, but you know, the Premier League will be here before we know it, as always.
Yeah. What have we got on this weekend in UFC?
Yeah, so we got there's a bit of boxing first. There's the UFC card is absolutely brilliant this year. So this weekend. This year. So I just, you know, I'll be all over that. But there's a bit of decent boxing on. I don't know if you've seen this week. We had 11 boxers qualify for the Olympics as well.
I've seen, yeah.
So that's a big haul, like, you know, and we've got some real chances at some medals, I reckon. Obviously, you've got Peter McGrail, who's a Scouser. You know, fancy him for a medal at featherweight. You know, you got Pat and Luke McCormack, 2 twins at the Olympics together, which is a brilliant story.
It's got to be a first, that.
Yeah, do you know what? I don't actually know, but there can't be many.
Can't be many, no.
So, you know, them 2, brilliant.
They fighting at the same weight, sure.
No, one below. So, I think Pat McCormack's a welterweight. Luke's a lightweight.
If the twins, obviously, are they identical, are they, as well?
Yeah, pretty much.
Isn't it weird how they're at different weights then?
Yeah, I know.
Do you reckon he said at that conversation, went, lad,
you're the one dying, not me. Yeah, definitely. But I think Pat McCormack's down as, you know, he's a bit nuts out the ring, but I think he's down as pretty much one of the best amateurs we've ever produced. So, you know, I fancy him to go close. We've got some brilliant talent with the girls. Lauren Price at middleweight, Caroline Dubois, who's Daniel Dubois' little sister. She's 20, she's a beast as well.
No way.
So fancy them to go. I think we could get a real haul this year.
Imagine as a brother, like, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know, you're going out with a sister or something and you cheat on her or something and she's like, you wouldn't even have to worry about the brother.
Yeah, I think, and there's a big story at super heavyweight with Fraser Clark. He's been on the GB squad for years. 2011, I think he went on. Don't quote me, but close. So he was behind Joshua. Then he was behind Joyce, and like he's been behind a load of fighters, and now he's finally got his chance to go to be an Olympian. So yeah, can't wait for that. You know, close to the time, we'll try and do a little breakdown for everyone to sort of watch.
When do the Olympics kick off?
I think it's about 4 weeks from now. Yeah, middle of July, is it? 11th of July, something like that. You know, I think, but yeah, the boxing's always brilliant because it produces stars. The Olympics.
I'll tell you when it is. It's the 14th of July because it's meant to be the same day as the Fury fight.
Oh, of course, yeah, because
it's that weekend. That's the opening ceremony, 14th of July.
Yeah. So yeah, can't wait for that. Really fancy, you know, Team GB to bring home a few medals there, and then obviously they turn pro on the back of that. You know, we've got a big load of pro stories to get behind, especially Peter McGrail, obviously from Liverpool. Yeah,
it'd be great to get him on. I know he's cousins of my good mate Muskie, so yeah, definitely try and get him on. So
then back in the pros, we got obviously Lewis Ritson returns. Obviously a bit of a banger, a bit of a hero up in Newcastle. I think they got 1,000 fans back in at Newcastle, so that should be rowdy. He's fighting a guy called Ponce. He's pretty unknown, but I fancy him as a pretty live underdog. The problem is, you know, the UK scorecards, isn't it? You know what we're like.
Is that the case for when we always talk about it's happened to Fury, it's happened to Smith? You go abroad and you get dodgy.
Germany used to be Germany. It's
but
slowly turning into the UK. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, but that bad. You know, some of the refs, like, not to talk out of turn, but some of the refs are absolutely shocking. The problem is that a lot of them are like, not to be ageist, but a lot of them are like 65 and like not really moved on with the sport and stuff like that. But they're trusted by the border control, and there's the same group of refs always at the same fights and the same judges. It's tough, innit? And this lad's coming over from Argentina, 27-0, 17 knockouts, can obviously whack
27-0.
Yeah, whack a bit. But obviously a lot of his career's been in Argentina, so you don't really know what the level of opponent he's at. But to knock out 17 of 27, you've got to be able to punch a little bit no matter what. So, and Ritson's looked vulnerable last couple of times. He got a gift against Vasquez. He should have lost, but again, the scorecards, he won it. I think he's admitted in the build-up actually that he thought he lost himself.
Really?
And he got the gift. So, I'm not sure. Let me see what the odds are on Ponce, but I think he's an outsider, but he's I think he's 7-4 to win. Lewis Ritson's 2-5. I wouldn't be touching Lewis Ritson this weekend at all. But would have bet on Ponce in the UK to get it on the cards? Maybe not. But if he wins this weekend, I won't be surprised one bit. So got the undercard's a lot of like Northeast talent. He's one fight though, Alan Babbage versus Damien Chambers, a heavyweight. So I don't know if you've seen Babbage. He's a nutter. He's like bald hair, big massive beard, managed by Dillian White. White brought him in as a sparring partner and ended up signing him over, and he's pretty limited. He's just a bit of a wrecking machine. But Damien Chambers trains with Matthew Hatton up in Manchester. Cruiserweight going up to heavyweight, can whack a bit as well, both of them. So that's one that's going to be, I can't see it lasting any more than like 3 or 4 rounds. But
that's another one of your.
Yeah, we should be getting it.
Quick predictions.
Yeah, if anyone's a little under 3.5, I reckon you got some sure money there. You probably get about evens. I reckon you'd be a good little bet. But yeah, that's probably the one to look out for on the undercard, because it'll be entertaining. And then obviously Ritson and Ponce in the main event. Got a bit over in the States, Shakur Stevenson, who's like, he was an Olympian as well, and he's sort of world champion now, one of the brightest prospects coming out of the States. He's in a bit of a gimme, but always good to see him. And then the UFC's just different level this weekend. The whole thing is just ridiculous.
Well, again, another shout out to Montrex, who've got one of their sponsored fighters.
Yeah, Leon Edwards. Yeah, Leon's been such he's had the most unlucky career. He just cannot get a break. I think he fought a couple of months ago against Bilal Muhammad. This was his big, get back in the octagon, get a blood win. Ended with an eye poke, accidental eye poke. It was like, no contest or whatever it was. Just an absolute nightmare. But he's got Nate Diaz, who's like obviously one of the gangsters of the game, really. Lunatic, always brings it. Sort of been in the UFC since the UFC began, I think.
I was getting mixed up with Nate and Nick.
Yeah, the brothers, yeah.
So Nate is obviously the Conor McGregor.
Yeah, the one who choked McGregor out, yeah.
Right. And he's fighting Nate.
Yeah, he's fighting Nate, yeah.
Nate.
So at welterweight, but I firmly, not just because of the Montrex link now, but I think Leon Edwards is the second best welterweight on the planet. Obviously Kamaru Usman, who's the champion, he actually beat Edwards when they both weren't champ. I think they got matched in like both of the second fights or something, and no one knew Kamaru Usman was going to be this good. But he beat Leon by decision. But I think he's obviously the second best welterweight on the planet. I'd love to see that rematch because, they've both developed so much. Yeah. But this is his coming out party, I think. They've put it over 5 rounds, which you don't really have a sort of a non-championship fight over 5. It's usually over 5 minutes, but this is over 5. I think it's just set up for Leon just to, really have a coming out party and just be like, I'm here, welterweight.
It's exciting to see him there.
Yeah, he's brilliant, mate. He's so well rounded. He can do everything.
Back in Vegas with fans and everything, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's Arizona, yeah. So yeah, pretty much. But yeah, full house. Over there, I don't think they take any shortcuts with like it's either a few fans or no fans or every fan.
Or
what I mean?
Everyone getting packed in, yeah.
Yeah, so I think Leon will steal the show to set up for him. Performance of the night, $50,000 bonus, hopefully. But
oof.
Yeah, so at the end they have obviously fight of the night, performance of the night, $50,000 bonus. See if you win that. But I can see Leon winning.
So what is it? You can get fight of the night?
Yeah, fight of the night and performance of the night. So whoever wins.
Same thing?
Yes. So if you're in the fight of the night, both of you get $50,000. If you put in the performance of the night, like as an individual, you get $50,000. But people have done it before, where you got fight of the night and
really?
Performance of the night, $100,000.
Okay, now imagine that.
I know, do alright, wouldn't you?
On top of everything else?
Yeah, on top of your wages, like, 50 grand.
Come on, Leon, lad.
That's why you see people swing them from the boots. Need this bonus. But yeah, as I say, the early prelims, the preliminary card, the main card, just all, just brilliant.
On fire.
It just, I think, maybe it's 3 o'clock in the morning, so, it'd only be as hardcore as knocking it out. But Sunday morning, like, block yourself a few hours, just watch it from start to finish, BT Sport.
Yeah.
But top of the bills, obviously, Adesanya in the middleweight fight against Vittori. Again, that's a rematch. Sort of Adesanya's the most dominant middleweight on the planet. Went up to light heavyweight in his last fight, lost the decision, but no slight on that, trying to go up and win another belt. But yeah, hope people believe this should have been Darren Till in the opposite corner, but Till with his injuries and stuff. But yeah, fancy Adesanya to come through that. Vittori's a tough guy, but just probably not on the same level. But honest to God, the fights are brilliant. The best fight on the card is the flyweights, Figueiredo, Moreno. These two fought to a draw a couple of months ago. Just a brilliant fight. Two small men, but just an absolute pair of absolute monsters.
Are you going to tell me that you're tipping up one of these now?
Do you know what? I love Davidson Figueiredo, but Brandon Moreno is sort of one of these fighters where he never really gets any credit, but he come in and he really took it to Figueiredo. Figueiredo was coming off this is mad as MMA fighters are. He was coming in on a 21-day break, so he'd fought, had 21 days off and fought again, at the top, defended his belt again. Just a monster. But yeah, fancy Moreno.
That can't happen often, that.
Nah, it happens more in, like, I know Canelo's done in boxing, but MMA it happens a little bit more, as long as you're not hurt and you pass all your medicals and stuff. But yeah, I think Moreno, I think he's 15-8 just outright, but I do fancy him to get a little upset and become a new champion. But I don't think the price is there to bet on it, but sitting there I would definitely fancy Moreno. But I think you could not have a bet on this entire. I've actually got a bet. My bet is on the card, but I think you could sit and watch this and not have a bet. You'd just be entertained anyway.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Go on then. Put me on my misery. What are you going for?
So, on the preliminary card, they got a lightweight fight against Drew Dober against Brad Riddell. Brad Riddell's come over with Adesanya. It's like his training mate from New Zealand. Drew Dober, American, powerful lad, good lad, got beat in his last fight, but these two are just pure strikers, so they're going to go at it. It's over 3 rounds. I just don't see how it goes the 3 rounds. I think they're both too powerful, both too sort of accurate. There's going to be a lot of chins getting tested in this one, but I just think Drew Dober by KO 11-4. I just fancy him, yeah. To be honest, I think it's a really close fight, but 11-4 for Drew Dober to stop him by KO, TKO, I think.
Seems like a big price, though. Yeah,
because they're just pure strikers. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna, you'll say this, they'll both come in and wrestle now, but yeah, they're both gonna. There's not gonna be one of them where there's gonna be many backward steps taken, And I just think Drew was very, very powerful, and I just can see him getting the finish.
Man, I'm a bit worried with my tips over the next few weeks because, like we've both alluded to, not massive international football fans. You are obviously the daddy when it comes to MMA and boxing.
See, you are ADOC with your hat on and that. Do some scouting.
You know what I'm going to go for my bet? And I'm kind of betting a little bit with my heart here, rather than my head. But Wales.
Yeah? Who are they playing?
Switzerland.
Don't
in Baku.
Do not mind it. Oh yeah, they're based out there, aren't they?
I just think, a little bit of a heroics from Gareth Bale. They got Harry Wilson. You know what? It's a bit of a shot in the dark and stuff, but Switzerland are no mugs, but I think a big price there at nearly 3-1.
Yeah. Don't mind that.
So fuck it, I'm going to go with Wales.
I like it.
But I'm not happy that this is going to be the kind of thing for the next couple of weeks now. Me having punts on international that I've got no clue about.
My bet's in the women's netball. Look for lighting under.
Love it, is that a team?
Yeah, I used to go watch them for a bevy when I was at uni. Yeah, you could have a bevy with any sport at university, because I obviously spent 4 years at Loughborough. And yeah, we used to watch cricket, netball, and ultimate frisbee.
Ultimate, that's not a sport.
Lad, it is. It's like basically the same rules as NFL, but with a frisbee. It's unbelievable.
We should take the Leg It Sportcast on the road and go and watch some ultimate frisbee.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable. Most fun you ever have, but yeah, I'm a bit of any sport really, but yeah. Just on that, obviously my team St Helens got to the Challenge Cup final.
Yeah.
Rugby League, made up for that. I haven't won it since 2008. won the grand final and stuff like that. But yeah, be at Wembley. Liverpool didn't get me there, but St Gallen did. So we made up.
Now I'm coming to Wembley, but you know that is good news, mate. Like I said, I'm not a massive rugby league fan. Got into it a little bit when I've done done a couple of talks with Warrington Wolves.
Yeah.
It was good fun and hard men.
Oh, mate. It's the most as a neutral, like, I've said this to loads of my friends who don't sort of know much about it either. Most entertaining game as a neutral that you can ever watch.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're just, you know, it's so accessible, the sport. Like, you can, at St Helens, you can walk in for 12 quid and have a bevy at your seat. You know, you can sort of, I think you can get a family ticket for like 20 quid. Just, it's sort of, you know, it's still got that old school vibe to it.
Yeah.
I mean, my introduction to it was a kid. We used to go to the Good Friday Derby, St Helens Wigan, with my dad. I was never like, you know, religious rugby league fan. About 4 or 5 years ago, went to grand final again. And the beauty about the grand final is whatever team gets there, it's sort of an all-day thing at Old Trafford, but the behind the sticks are obviously packed out with the fans of the teams, but then fans of every club will go.
Really?
So fill the stadium, so you'll see people with, like, obviously Bradford shirts on, Leeds shirts on, Warrington, Wigan, you know, and there's no real, like, you know, you sit
animosity or
nothing like that. It's just a completely different vibe to football. Not to put football down, but yeah, the grand final at Old Trafford, it's brilliant. And so about 4 or 5 years ago, started going to that, and then just kept getting more and more into it. Now I love getting down St Helens. Like,
I was properly taken aback by how I got to go in their change rooms at half time, and I seen them, mate, and they are all, you know, big fellas, but I've been knocked about a bit.
Oh, mate, not
like, and it's that thing, mate, where you're running at someone, you know, sprinting at someone, and they're trying to take you down, but they happen to be 17, 18 stone.
Yeah, the thing is,
and then it's not though, you that's it, done. You get up, and then you do it again.
The sort of thing they got now, the 6 again rule, where like it sort of took out the rucks and stuff. So it's just 6, obviously, you know, 6 tries to get to that end, 6 tries to get to that end. But you know, if anyone makes a little infringement, you set start again, so you just get 6 again. So right now it's just 80 minutes of just back and forward, and these are big fellas, big fellas.
Mate, yeah.
Like, we've got a player called Morgan Knowles. He must be 16 stone, and he played 80 minutes the other day in the semi-final, no problem. Nah, you know, constant contact, constantly in the game,
hard as fuck.
Yeah. And do you know what? You know, if you've never watched rugby league before, and you know, you're thinking, you know, let me have a little look, because it runs through the summer. Rugby league, it ends in October, and the World Cup of rugby league's actually in the UK this year. Anfield's holding a couple of games, yeah.
Really? I'll have to get to
that's
that.
October and November. So yeah, but you know, if you're looking for a summer sport, honestly,
yeah, mate, I can well get behind that.
It's brilliant.
I'm up for that.
And you can bevy at your seat.
Yeah, and that's why I'm up for
it. Yeah, so Wembley, July 17th, yeah, we're there. Let's
get on it. Mate, I've enjoyed this. Again, listen, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite, because I will no doubt I was having a beer probably with you and my dad and a few of the lads watching the games and that, so I will get amongst it. But I'm not going to lie, I'm not like...
Nah,
it's not the start of the season, it's not Champions League, it's not like... But I'll make the best of it.
Come on, Portugal.
Yeah. Again, massive thanks to our new sponsors, lads at Montrex. Again, link is in the bio. Go and check out their website. Follow them on Instagram. Shout out to Social Scousers. Thank you, Jordan. Been a belter, as always. Have a boss weekend.